For travelers, flying can be as simple as logging online and then booking a flight, but behind the scenes takes a lot to get planes that were in storage during the height of the pandemic back up in the air to keep up with the growing demand. 3 on your side, Susan Campbell has more on that part of the story. This is really interesting, Susan.
Yeah, good morning. Over the past few months, we've seen air travel begin its rebound. Just yesterday, more than 1.3 million people went through TSA checkpoints compared to 163,000 last year. And we're expecting to see those numbers continue to grow as more people get vaccinated.
The line at the security checkpoint, the busy baggage carousel, the familiar sound of a suitcase rolling across the airport floor.
Flight was completely full.
It's all coming back.
10 open on the whole flight.
And airlines are getting ready for a busy summer season.
The amount of pent-up demand for travel right now is unlike anything we've ever seen.
To keep up, a lot of planes have to come out of storage. Last year, as the pandemic began sweeping through the country, demand for flights plummeted nearly 90%, and airlines grounded large portions of their fleets. This is what it looked like in the early days at Sky Harbor. But as the pandemic persisted, airlines realized they needed long-term storage plans, and about 400 planes landed at the Pinal County Air Park, a place that normally maxes out at about 100.
We're getting aircraft in from 6 different continents, from multiple countries.
Scott Butler is the chief commercial officer of Ascent Aviation Services. He says airplane storage programs like this one are regulated by the FAA.
One of the first steps in the storage process is to wrap the tires, the engine, the windows, and other external components with Mylar. It helps protect against wildlife and dust.
These aircraft are millions and millions of dollars, and you wouldn't even park your car out here unsupervised or uncovered.
If a plane has been here in a storage program for this entire year, how many hours of maintenance does it have on it?
Oh, it could vary wildly, but you're at least looking at 1,000 hours minimum for each aircraft, and upwards of 5,000 or 10,000.
So far here in the desert, dozens of planes have been reactivated for this summer travel season.
It could be as quick as 1 week, to get an aircraft from storage to into the air, but it could be as long as a month if certain operators have changed hands.
American Airlines said it's expecting to fly more than 90% of its domestic seat capacity this summer compared to summer 2019 before the pandemic. And United said it's adding more than 480 daily flights to its domestic schedule.
There's certainly a lot quicker rebound for domestic travel than international travel.
Scott Keyes, the founder of Scott's Cheap Flight, says airlines are continuing to adjust their schedules to match demand.
The cost of flight was normal.
The fares were probably pretty similar to what they normally are.
The summer is always an expensive time to travel, but Scott says there will be more cheap flights this year than we may have seen in previous summers for a few reasons. First, despite growing demand, air travel is still down about 30%. Second, airlines have added capacity to routes faster than the demand requires, so often there are more available seats when you're searching. And third, airlines are adding a lot of their capacity to popular vacation destinations.
They're taking these wide-body planes, which have a ton of seats on them, and reorienting them towards where there is high demand for leisure travel.
Which means more planes may continue to come out of storage.
Bottom line, I think for families getting ready to maybe take their first flight, is it safe to get back on one of these airplanes that hasn't been in the air for an entire year?
Absolutely, 100%.
Ascent says this year it has added 200 jobs and is continuing to hire to get planes reactivated and also get new planes into storage that are coming from other countries that aren't experiencing the same travel rebound that the U.S. is. Scott?
Hey, by the way, Susan, most of us just get to walk on the plane. You see how large it is, but to be able to walk underneath it, you realize how enormous those things are, aren't they?
That's exactly what I was saying when I was out there with the photographer, Rick, who shot that beautiful piece. It just felt so massive, and I felt so little.
I know. It takes an incredible engines to get those things off the ground. So, Susan, thank you. Really interesting.